I know what you're thinking. It's practically March 2026, and we don't have a new piano yet from Fracture Sounds. Well, courtesy of Marcus Warner's fully restored 1907 Bluthner Piano, they are back and they are bad. Running on the free version of Contact and coming in at just under 24 gigabytes. Let's dive in and check out its sound. Based on the shape of Marcus Warner's room and the way that the piano was mic'd up and recorded, I think what you have is a really up-close, dry sound. Let's dive into the interface and check it out. We have color, timbre, shift, character, atmospheric controls. There's the additional atmospheric layers. We have key noise, pedal, pianist noise. Stereo width, we got our selection of reverbs. We have the usual 5. They just recently added Lush not that long ago. You have some additional pedal controls if you click on that cogwheel, depending on how much you want to change it. You have mic mix, 3 positions, hammers, player, and body. On the second panel, you have some additional velocity response controls, some additional settings. You can change the sample start, the intensity of the pianist noise. There is a clarity filter, which helps kind of clean up the upper range of the instrument. You can force the pedal down if you want a more resonant sound, and you can change the decay of the atmospheric noises. And then we get some credits. Let's go back into the main panel, and I will play around with each of these, and you can hear what it does to the sound. Color controls become a pretty standard part of their range. I usually like to dial it just a little bit left to center. Timbre shift, I have not always explained this correctly in past videos. I aim to fix that right now. This actually borrows neighboring notes from the note that you're playing and pitch shifts them to just give you a kind of a different sound. All right, let's check that out. It's a very subtle change to the sound, which I really like. Character initiates EQ, saturation, and compression to change the sound. So I'll dial it all the way down and then back up again. If you dial it right up, it really dramatically changes the sound. So again, be subtle about these. Atmospheric intensity. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dial this all the way up and dial each of these layers, and I'll play them independently so you can hear what they do. Now they've gone very, very subtle with these atmospheric layers. So you can really dial these up and really push that atmospheric intensity. And I feel just the way the decay is, you can really put that in there and it's just going to fade naturally into the background. We have our mic mix. So let me turn that intensity down. Let's bring each of these up and I'll play each of the mic positions so you can hear what they sound like. Start with the hammers. Really kind of an up close, dry sound. I found that I liked sort of the body sound, the hammers down a little bit, something kind of like this. I thought was a nice blend. Throw that atmospheric intensity back up there. Let's see what this sounds like. I like that blend, that sound. Just a splash of character in there. I'll play around with the key noise, pedal, and pianist sound. So that was with the pianist noise all the way up. Again, if you wanted a little bit more, you could control the amount of density. I find the default setting is pretty good. Sometimes these controls can get really distracting, but again, I found they did it in a very, very subtle way. And key noise, yeah, I think it's good. Pedal noise, I don't like too much pedal noise, but key noise, I feel like you can really dial that right up. Stereo width. So all the way to the left, it's mono, or you can go all the way to the right and spread it out a little bit further, depending on what sound you're going for. Reverb controls. Now, you know, if you've been watching this channel, I absolutely love shimmer. I feel like room is really the right one for this. And again, it's to personal taste, but it's more of an up close, dry sound. I did experiment with shimmer a little bit. Actually, I really like that sound. Oh, can you tell? I'm just a sucker for the shimmer sound. So again, it depends what you want. Let me shut off the mic again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play some of the low range so you can hear that, and then I'll play some of the upper range as well. As you can hear, particularly in the upper range, it has a really crisp, clear sound. Significantly different than I think the other pianos in their range. Very clear upper range, which I really like. Homestead Piano, which is one of my favorites by them, for instance, you can hear how that starts to get a little thin in the upper ranges. And I know these are two totally different pianos that have been sampled completely different ways, but just trying to figure out whereabouts in this range. I feel like it's somewhere between Spotlight and Homestead is kind of what I'm hearing anyway. You might be hearing something different, and these are just my impressions. You do have some presets in here as well, which you can fool around with. As a little bonus, you also get Marcus Warner's harmonium. I'll do a quick little demo of that. We have a dynamics control, color, stereo width, reverb. We have a drone mode, and then we got some key switches. You're really going to want to use your key switches to take advantage of this to clear the notes and turn these drones on and off. Got the shimmer on there. It sounds fantastic. Okay, let's check out this drone mode, and then we're going to do some key switching. So it takes a little getting used to. I think you're going to kind of want to use a combination of the key switches and the mod wheel to roll those dynamics. This is going to run at an initial launch price of $109 US until April 2nd. They've also included it in a signature bundle and Marcus Warner's personal bundle. So lots of different ways to pick up this piano. What do I think of it? If you've been watching this channel, you know that I absolutely love Fracture Sound's piano sample libraries. This is a really nice, unique sounding one to the collection. Close, dry, intimate sound. Homestead is probably my favorite out of all the pianos, and I'd say this is probably pretty close second, particularly with that very crystal clear kind of bell-like upper range. On my newest album entitled Still, I actually utilized many of Fracture Sound's pianos on those recordings, so check it out. If I had this one in time, I would have put that on there as well. Please do like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one.